What's up guys, I'm going to be starting a brand new series on DemSec right now. It's going to be named Beginner Hacking. So basically what I'm going to do is cover all the basic things which if you've never done any kind of hacking whatsoever, you probably don't know how to do. So in this episode we're going to be covering how to install backtrack in a virtual machine. Yes, to those who are more intermediate this is going to sound really mundane, but it's what some people need to know just to get started. So what you're going to do is fire up your web browser, hopefully it's not Internet Explorer, and you're going to go over to the two websites that are going to be in the in the description. The first one here is virtualbox.org. This is the hypervisor we're going to be used so you can run virtual machines on your computer. And the next one is backtracklinux.org. So first off we're going to go to virtualbox.org, go to downloads, and what we're going to do is download this one, and you're going to click save file. Once you've done that you just go run through the installation. It's just like any other installation, it's just a next finish. I'll probably throw up some pop-ups. Anything that comes up just click on install and everything's fine there. Then we're going to head over to backtrack linux, then we're going to go to downloads and click download, and it'll click select required version. We're going to click backtrack 5R2. We're going to select GNOME because it's most easiest to understand. Click 32-bit, that's just for convenience, and I know that everyone out there is going to be able to run 32-bit, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go with that, and we're going to go for a direct download. Then you just go click download, and it'll start the download of the ISO. Obviously I've already got both of those downloaded and installed, so here we've got Oracle VM VirtualBox, which is VirtualBox, and what we're going to start off by doing, we've already got a virtual machine here, but we're going to pretend like it's brand new. We're going to go to new, and this is going to bring up the virtual machine wizard. Going to go to next, and we're going to type in a name for it. What I'm going to do is call this YouTube BT5. If it doesn't automatically select it, go to Linux and Ubuntu, because that's what the new backtrack's based off of. Go to next, and this depends on how much memory you have. So if you want to check your memory, go to properties on your computer. I'll say 4 gig here, or whatever, how much you've got. I recommend giving it about half, because some of the stuff you might be running might be intensive. I normally go for 2800 with my 4 gig of RAM on this computer. So I'm going to put 2800 megabytes of RAM in there, and we're going to want to create a startup disk because we're actually going to be installing backtrack. So we're going to leave it as a VirtualBox disk image. Click next. Dynamically allocated, that's just good because it won't actually take up space on your hard drive until you've actually populated the space on the virtual hard disk. If it's fixed size, then you'll just have, as soon as you click next, it'll go off and take away however much storage you need. I recommend setting it to about 20 gigs for backtrack. 8 gigs fine if you're just doing an install and that's it, but we're going to be wanting to do an upgrade and everything, get everything running up to date and that. So once we've got that set to 20 gig, we're just going to click create, and create again, and create again. We're going to have our new virtual machine. To start this up, you can either go to start, or I just prefer to double click it, and it's going to open up the virtual machine. Because this is the first time we're running it, it's actually going to give us the welcome to the first run wizard. Go click next, and it's going to tell us to select installation media. This is where we're going to click this little button here, and we're going to go to our downloads and select the ISO. So I'm going to click open on the ISO, click next, and click start. And now it's going to boot from the ISO, and when you get this, just click enter, then click enter again, and it's going to start loading up. The installation for backtrack doesn't take all that long, but I'm not going to be actually recording the full installation. I'm just going to walk you through the points of how to install it, and then we'll just swap over to the one I've already got set up. Having trouble talking. by default, the network interface for your virtual machine will be NAT, and that's completely fine. Sometimes I'd recommend putting it to bridged. Well, 99.9% of the time I'd recommend setting it to bridged, but for what we're doing now, NAT is completely fine. It's only when you actually start messing about with exploits when you're actually going to need bridged. So when we get to this prompt here, we're just going to type start X, just the letter X, and click enter. Now this is going to load up the user interface for backtrack, which pretty much everyone's familiar with by now. So as you can see, this is the interface for backtrack, and they've made it very easy in these versions of backtrack. I remember in early backtrack 4 where there wasn't actually an installer that actually worked, so what you'd have to do is manually copy all the files over. So we're just going to double click on the install backtrack icon, and it's going to open the installer for us. Okay, so we're just going to leave that selected as English. Obviously, if you're preferring a different language, go ahead and select that one. Don't think it changes the installer all that much. Mine's automatically selected United Kingdom time, but obviously if it doesn't, just go on this list and select United Kingdom and then United Kingdom time. Forward again. And this is where you select your type of keyboard. What I recommend doing is once you've got it selected, just try the at and speech marks, just because those are the ones that normally get flipped around if you do it wrong. Obviously you can see I've done that right, so we're going to click forward again. Okay, so because it is a virtual machine, we can actually just erase and use entire disk, which is what we're going to do. Click forward. Obviously, if you were doing this as a dual boot or whatever, you could partition your hard drive more appropriately and install it onto a partition on there. But 99% of the time, I just tell you to run backtrack in a virtual machine. Unless you actually start doing it all professionally, then that's the only time when I actually recommend installing it on bare metal. And from here, you just click install, and it'll run through the install. It'll take about, I don't know, 25 minutes-ish, probably less. When it gets to that, I'll tell you to restart now. So what we're going to do is actually quit here, but obviously you click install on that install, and I'm actually going to load up my virtual machine that I already have. So I'm going to shut down this one. I'm just going to force power it off. And I'm going to load up the one I've already got installed. This is just to save time, obviously. I probably won't cut this video much, just because I want you to see the full process, and if I'm constantly cutting about everywhere, you may be confused. I don't know. Okay, so it'll show the backtrack splash screen for a bit, and then it'll give us our login. The default login for backtrack is root as the username, and the password is root backwards, so T-O-O-R even. And then it'll let us log in. What I recommend doing as soon as you install this is type in passwd, and it'll allow you to set a new password for root. So just set that to whatever you want. Passwords don't match, but it doesn't matter, but you get the idea. Change that password just for levels of security, because personally, if I saw a backtrack box on my network, the first thing I'd try is logging into it with its root and Tor, because usually people don't change that. So remember to change that. Then what we're going to do is just type start X, which will start up the user interface again. So once we've got backtrack installed, what we're going to do is update it and make sure it is up to date. So what we're going to do is open this terminal here to click this button, and the first command we're going to run is apt-get update. What this is going to do is update all the packages in the repositories. What a repository is just a server with loads of packages on. So as you can see, we're just going to download all these lists essentially. This isn't actually doing any upgrading to the system, it's just giving us some lists. Okay, so now we've got the updated repositories. What we're going to do is do an apt-get upgrade, and this command is actually going to upgrade the operating system. So if there is any new parts, as you can see, we've got 60 meg worth of updates. We're just going to hit Y there, and this is going to go off and download these at a really low speed. I'm going to go ahead and say that's their fault. What you'll notice is sometimes you'll get really fast speeds and sometimes you won't, because I think it just randomly picks one of the mirrors. So sometimes you could be running at 700k like we are, well, less than 700k like we are here, and look, there we go, we're up to 1.2 meg there. So it just all depends on whichever repo it decides to choose. I recommend updating backtrack as often as possible, just because it is updated very regularly, because obviously we hackers want to have all the latest toys. Okay, so once that's done, we're going to do an update for Metasploit framework, and the command for that's really easy. If nothing else, remember to run that command. You must run apt-get update and upgrade, because if you just do an upgrade, it won't actually find any new packages. If you do update first, then it'll find the new packages first, and then the upgrade installs the new packages. This can take a while to complete, especially first time, because it's going to have a hell of a lot of packages. I think this is getting towards the end now. I'm not sure, if I'm honest with you. As you can tell, I haven't updated this for a couple of days, and it shows because there's a hell of a lot of updates to be done. I don't want to make this video too long because I don't actually have unlimited time on this channel. I've already gone over the time limit, so I'm probably going to have to split this into 2 parts. This just shows I've only had I updated this like at the weekend. It just shows you how often they update backtrack. If I remember rightly, this is getting towards the end here. Usually Apache is one of the final things that gets upgraded. I may be talking about my backside there. Probably are. They've probably replaced the order or whatever. It shouldn't be too long left. It's only 60 meg of updates. I mean, the first time I updated it, I think you got more like 500, 600 meg worth of updates. So, yeah, I don't recommend trying to upgrade this on a slow connection, because then it's very boring. There are I can't even speak. There are alternatives to backtrack. But I wouldn't recommend using them, simply because some of them have been like known to contain viruses and stuff like that. They're not fun. There is other things that are trusted, but when there's backtrack around where it's updated on daily and also it's why try and fix what isn't broken? And I think that's what a lot of these other hacking distributions are doing. They all do exactly the same thing, just with a different face. And by face, I just mean a different interface. And I think Backtrack is, because it's now using Ubuntu, and Ubuntu was designed to look and feel a bit like Windows. No, I don't want to change to Vista Basic. Yeah. But Ubuntu was designed to look and feel like, look a bit, but feel a lot like Windows. So, obviously for beginner hackers, you want to stay as much in your comfort zone as possible. Okay, that's done. Took longer than expected, but whatever. The second command we're going to run is msf update. MSF stands for Metasploit Framework, and then update is obviously just update. We're going to run that, and this is going to download the latest exploits from the Metasploit SVN. SVN is the same as a repository essentially. SVN is just a protocol, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is just a protocol for accessing it. So what this is just going to go and do is check the SVN and see if what's on my laptop is the same as what's on the server, and if it's not, it'll download the latest version from the server. I think that's the reason why SVN is a lot better than just downloading the files manually, because if you download the files manually, you just end up downloading the same files you've already got. SVN actually compares the two versions and downloads whatever's missing from yours. So as we can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new exploits. So it just shows you how often Metasploit's been upgraded. So that's it, that's Backtrack installed and all updated and ready to go. From here you can start with your toys and fun. Next tutorial is going to be about Armitage and how to use it. Sorry, I just knocked the microphone a couple of times, but next tutorial is going to be about Armitage and how to use that. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.